Somebody told me that my video have a slow start, and my apologies, but I'm in the background getting ready. I don't feel super confident about the outfit that I'm wearing, but I'm going to be sitting down for this video, so I really don't care. Oh, well, I do care what I look like because I changed the top, because I was in my work uniform and it was giving very much 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5, ain't no way to make a living. And that's what we had to talk about. Working this 9 to 5, it's not cute. I'm experiencing extreme alienation. Let's put out the laptop so we can look up definitions together. Alright guys, I'm coming. That's what she said. All puns intended. Hello. Wow. That's a little better. Let me get my blanket out of the way. Make it look more presentable. The backdrop gotta look cute. Ah, she's giving very Wendy Williams on the couch. Does anybody remember Wendy Williams on the couch? I'm giving very Wendy Williams on the couch. Like, I'm manifesting radio for me. I can really see me in radio and really prospering in radio. I know you guys are alarmed by me turning off the comments, but I really had to sit and orchestrate my thoughts because, you know, when you're just sitting alone and you're like, yo, la vida es real, like life is real, like it does not stop. You have to learn how to grow. You have to transcend trauma. You have to break generational curses. You have to overcome adversities. Just so much things that you have to go through in life. And I didn't even bendiciones. So bendiciones. And while you're at it, go ahead, like and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Hit the thumbs up and leave a comment after we're done talking. Just let me know what you're thinking. Because I'm going to let you know what I'm thinking. So, where do I even begin? I have the performance coming up the 28th. I have the fabric sitting there, the sewing machine sitting there, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay. Most of the outfit is done. The music choices, for the most part, is done. The editing of the old footage, that's not done at all. The editing of the new performance that's not done at all. But I have a performance coming up the 28th, which is officially after today, 20 days away. So that definitely starts the show down, and I have to really get on it, just performance wise, and just getting ready for this whole showcase, and just asking myself really, what am I sort of accomplishing from this, and what do I want out of performing. And I think that my life has been one crazy, chaotic whirlwind of a series of events, and I have documented all that. And it feels weird. It feels weird because I feel like, am I the only YouTuber on YouTube that's not making no serious like money yet? Like, where is my gold plaque? Like, I can't wait to achieve that, because I feel like she's been on here for a while, and you guys have followed me throughout this whole journey, and I'm still here in California trying to make it work. And I clock in, she go to work, she come back home, wherever home is for the day, whether it be in the hotel, whether it be here, whether it be in the halfway house, like whether it be in the truck, like home is wherever you make it when you don't have your own, I guess, home base. So now that I've been here for more than a year, and especially because I'm sort of couch surfing, I've had to take the biggest piece of humble pie, and I've had to look at this life and set of experiences as a learning situation, right? For those who don't know me, hi, my name is Meeshee. That's what they call me here. If you want to join, you could join the House of Realness. I call y'all my fairy bombas, my OGs, my ride or dies. It changes depending on how emotional I am and feel about everybody that's watching me, and the sort of collective that we've gathered here, and people that have come together to sort of watch me. FYI, there's no secrets to life other than you can't avoid yourself. That is the one sort of advice I can give you about life, if that holds any validity or value to anyone watching, is that you cannot avoid yourself. You can distract yourself, you can devalue yourself, you can avoid yourself, but like the only way through it is through yourself. And just doing that work and sitting with it, I've been faced with a lot of realities, and I've been confronted with a lot of defenses. I've been able to identify my defense mechanisms and the sort of way I have lived in survival mode, and where that stems from. And it's either I'm going to reprogram that trauma and truly transcend this, or I am going to succumb to life in this sort of unspoken way that we've been living. When you think about living under the 1 percentile, like the freaking Elon Musk and the owner of Amazon, and those rich people like the Rothschilds, and just like people with a lot of money. When you live under that line, you live in this sort of maze, and this perpetual hamster wheel of this cycle of the American dream, or what has been pitched to us. And I think that the American dream to the generation before me being born in 1990, I definitely know that being a daughter of a first generational woman who came here, my mother, being from Vieques, came here to America to give us a better life and try to incorporate us in the American dream, and what that meant to her. And it meant being a doctor, being a lawyer, or marrying someone white, because watching TV and still watching I Love Lucy, that was sort of the limited experience that my mother had with American culture and only what was told and what had been broadcast through cinema. So I definitely feel the weight and the extent of upholding the sort of American dream or the expectation that my mother had of me and her sacrifice coming over here so that I can have a better life. Ironically enough, hello, came out trans. And any hopes of the American dream for me increasingly diminish, because as times change and inflation and the sort of crush that capitalism has on us and that chokehold that keeps us on that hamster wheel. And this leads to the word alienation, because I was doing some research about how I was feeling, because just don't go on WebMD. Like, WebMD will always tell you something weird, but just look up just what you're feeling and what that means. So, alienation. In Marx's theory, a condition of workers in a capitalistic economy resulting from a lack of identity with the products of their labor and a sense of being controlled or exploited. Now, also a state of depersonalization or loss of identity in which the self seems unreal, thought to be caused by difficulties in relating to society and the resulting prolonged the inglés sin barreras. It's inhibition. Inhibition of emotion. Wow, the inglés sin barreras. I know that I talk English primarily, but I grew up in a very sublingual Spanish household. My mother only spoke Spanish. So technically Spanish was my first language. Watching novelas with my mother, watching Marimal, watching La Chilindrina, watching Don Francisco, watching Laura, watching all of those sort of Spanish TVs. That was predominantly what was playing in our household. We only had one TV, and at nighttime it was my mother's time, and we were all watching Spanish. So sometimes I struggle with some words in the pronunciation, and that has been something that I have felt embarrassed about. I'm going on a little side tangent, but just follow me. Being pulled out of class, you know, going to school in Brooklyn and being different because I wasn't dark enough, I wasn't light enough, I was a weird mix of things, and people were just trying to figure me out. But being pulled out of class to go to an ESL class, I hated, and I used to beg my mother because it just separated me, and it like singled me out, and people were just like, they were not nice. Kids were not nice. That goes to show you just how this all has a trickle effect. So with those definitions of alienation, I have realized that I have been going to work and putting in my all, but realizing that I am in a field and in a profession that pays me my money, the majority of my money right now. But I don't feel like my strengths are being utilized in that industry. And because of life circumstances and me not traditionally finishing school, I've always felt unqualified for jobs. Like for me, what is the name of the job where I can work in the Fenty Skin department in development? Like where they're talking about, okay, here are the products right here. What do you want to see in this line, and what do you think can be integrated in this line? What can the packaging look like? What ideas do you bring? Like, that sounds interesting to me. I'm very creative. I'm very conceptual. I can think about how to campaign it and just all of that. And really, if I had a team supporting the vision, I could really conceptualize something and be excited about it. And through my social media, I'm essentially building that empire so that I can be in those social spaces that where my creativeness is being utilized, and I am not falling or succumbing to this feeling of alienation, a state of depersonalization or loss of identity in which the self seems unreal, thought to be caused by difficulties in relating to society and resulting to prolonged inhibits of emotion. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've been sitting here and thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, you're here in California. You've made it in a truck that should not have made it. You've been through all this thing, like everything that you've survived, and how did you survive it, right? That's what I've been asking myself. And sitting here, and I'm like, okay, let me take stock and let me figure out how to turn all my talents into money makers, so that I don't have to clock into a job that, one, I've experienced every single job I have held where my money is tied to making money for someone else. I have been exploited, and I have been in situations that none of my other coworkers have been in because of just my sheer existence. And that is a direct effect of societal's expectations of who we are. When you think about women fighting for their rights in the workplace, where does that come from? That comes from a place that we have all been fighting as a collective womanhood, and however you define it, because I think that we get crowded with the debate of, and I spoke about the whole Meeshee grade thing, about this definition of what it means to be a woman. And I think that when we start to realize that womanhood is like a diamond and it has many different facets, and all together those facets shine and really just make the whole that much better, I think that we will continue to stay divided, and our fights will come from smaller groups instead of one united, and nothing really gets done. So I'm here in California, a place that's supposed to be so inclusive, but I still have experienced situations at work where I've had to be in very uncomfortable situations based on just my gender identity, and that had nothing to do with the qualifications of the job. So for me, I am ready to walk into my season of clocking in for myself and making my own money. And I think that I have showcased that in so many different facets, finding means to make it happen. And this whole like opportunity to do show performances, I thought about it, and at first I was like, okay, the universe threw me a wheel, like a little you know, when you play Wheel of Fortune, you get a little like token. They're like, okay, threw me a little token. I'm either gonna take it or I'm going to allow it to pass by. And now 2 shows in, my 3rd one coming up, for me, it was, one, to pay back tribute and homage to the showgirl performers that I grew up seeing, that showed me that there is a way where I can exist as myself, and there is a space for us. And two, to overcome and really work on just owning a space, because as a trans woman I have dealt with this feeling of inadequacy, almost like I'm an alien wearing a human suit, because at any moment someone can say, well, you're not really a woman because you were born like this and that, and that feeling of feeling like an imposter syndrome has led me to feel often like I am not worthy to occupy spaces. Another physical manifestation of trauma. So much so that it mirrors when I was in that abusive situationship, and that feeling of not feeling worthy enough to occupy space. And then that being mirrored from my mother, and that initial trauma of being kicked out and not feeling worthy enough of her love for her to want me to be under her home. So I am now at a point in my life where I'm having to sit with all that and look at the many facets of the mirror and say, okay, this is a repetitive physical manifestation of my self-worth. And why do I feel, or why at times, better yet, is my self-worth not at a place where I would like it to be? Because I have the understanding and the understanding of where it stems from. So now, how do I own that and own that space? So the performance and me being on stage is me working through that and saying, okay, yes, look at me, I'm here, and F how you feel, you're gonna enjoy it, you're gonna eat it up, you're gonna eat me up because you're looking at me. I have your attention. And really working through the anxiety that I feel, that stage fright that I feel, and really owning that space. So this July 28th, this performance, particularly what it means to me, is owning my sexy and owning my space, going on that stage and essentially saying, like, I am here and I'm gonna own this. Like, I'm gonna own all of this. Like, I am that girl that came from a camper and then went to the truck and experienced all these crazy hectic things, but I have overcome all those things and I'm continuing to thrive, and she is walking into new opportunities, and it's exciting and thrilling. And when I look at it, people have been very skeptical, and they have been telling me, get my head out of the clouds, you know, especially when you're couch surfing, you have to humble yourself. There are people that are going to have an opinion about what you're doing, and they're going to have an expectation for you. And when you don't follow those expectations and you don't have the right answers that they deem are the right answers, you have to answer for that, because you have now, you're taking a seat at their table. And I've had a lot of people tell me straight up, like, okay, it's cute what you're doing online. Yeah, you probably made an impact to a couple of people, but they'll forget about you. Get yourself a postal job. And I'm not throwing shade to nobody that works in the postal service, but I really had somebody look me in the eye and say, like, just go get a government job. That's like the best you could hope for. And go back to school and, like, I don't know, drive a bus or something. He was like, you lived in your car and you drive like all these states. Like, what's the difference? Like, learn how to drive a bus. And no shade to no bus driver, but I looked at that person, I said, but I built this all organically. I haven't had anybody help. Like, I don't know how to make this all, like, work like all these other people. Like, I haven't been given that golden opportunity where I'm catapulted to a platform where I am in an equal space and heading with other influencers that have bigger numbers than me. But then I think about it and I'm like, they started from a place too. And when I dissect my life, I realized that I moved around a lot. One, because I was running for my life. And I know that there may be a part of me that will never, ever not feel like it's running. I think that the minute I walked out of that door at 13, the one thing that I remember so vividly from the night that I was kicked out is the kind of lock on the house door, the color of the carpets and the stairs, and then the double hallway to get out. It didn't hit me walking out that door and hearing the house door and that twist, knock, lock, and bolted. Hearing that being bolted, a form of protecting your home. Feeling like what me being locked out was them protecting, my mother protecting her home. And having to walk down those stairs and not only walk out of one door, but another door. And then to feel that final door and feel that cold New York air. You know, that cold New York air that hits your face and it instantly dries your skin and you feel like right here is going to cut a little bit. I've been running all my life. All my life I've been running, and here in California, and I know that people tell me all the time, it's so expensive. You really like trying to ask for a 1 in a million opportunity. But California has been probably one of the greatest decisions of my life. California has truly saved my life. I have met some amazing people here. And California has given me a new reason to fight for my life. And it doesn't even feel like a fight. Like I know everything seems so uncertain. And I know that I have to play my part and figure this out. Like I really can't just sit here and talk gaga. Like I really have to figure this out. But I'm also going to enjoy it while I figure it out. Because these are the memories that I'm creating. This is my life that I'm living. And I'm either going to fall in love with it and fall into the process, or I'm going to continue to get stomped down. So it's really all how I look at it and how I choose to move forward. So I'm realizing that in life, in order to upgrade, to level up, to advance, to transcend, to break generational curses, to break trauma, to reprogram and re-heal, it's going to require discipline. Discipline like I've never had it before. And I am too young, living, breathing, thriving, to not be on that stage owning it in some tacos. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have this vision of in my head of just me just like, like, you know, just really killing it and just, really like on stage and owning it. Like I feel this inner stripper in me, and I feel this like bandolera and this like I don't know, like maybe call it Sasha Fierce. It's not really Sasha Fierce. It's like this like part of me that wants to break out like and own it, like this inner bad bitch. I'm probably like my inner Rihanna, like like, you know what I'm saying, like just walking in the room like I am that bitch, and everybody's so amazed to see me. Like I'm ready to break out of this shell, this cocoon, and really just own it. But I have to be very disciplined. After today, I have 20 days, and how I use these 20 days are going to be crucial, and how I use the days after those 20 days are going to be crucial. So I'm either going to really punch myself and push myself and put myself completely in it, or I'm just going to go ahead and pack up all my things and go back into that truck and give up and get a job at Walmart. No shade to Walmart. Or get some regular schmegular job. Whatever you define to be a regular schmegular job. So I either came here to freaking work at Walmart, or I came here to be a star. I call myself Brooklyn Star on stage. So I'm either gonna shine bright like a diamond, or I'm gonna freaking sing my shit at coulda wouldas. Cause ain't no fairy godmother we're gonna come here and be like, girl, yo, I know you've been waiting for a long time, but I decided to show up now. She ain't coming. My fairy godmother is not coming. She ain't coming. But you wanna know something? I ain't gonna sit here and wait for her. If she do come, I'm gonna be like this. Oh my God, am I hallucinating off of some mushrooms? Because I was eating some shiitakes on this artisanal pizza that I just ate. Am I really seeing you? And she's gonna be like this, yes, bitch. And I'm gonna be like this. Tell me something only I would know. And she's gonna be like, I don't got time to play with you. You either want this wish or you don't want it at all. I'm gonna be like this, you know what? I like you. But until that happens, I gotta go and get it. And that requires discipline. Discipline. So I broke it down. And I said, I got a job. I work a 9 to 5. I make tips on the side. If I don't touch my tips, then I really just sit there and put some discipline. One, I could get a cute little gym membership. Cute little gym membership, because low-key, I've been feeling like, as I've been doing yoga, that's another thing, I've been doing yoga. She has this whole plan. I've been writing it down, not here because this is their laptop. I shouldn't even be playing with this. My bad. I was just looking up something. They did not tell me that I could use this to be playing around and throwing it around. But I have this whole thing. So I've been doing yoga. I've been doing yoga every night. And let me tell you something. You think that yoga is just cute little poses? Huh? It's not cute little poses. Them poses be having you shaking like a leaf. And I'm like, how are they just breathing and they're doing it so effortlessly? So yoga's another thing that I'm trying to conquer. I'm really trying to like really get there with my yoga and my stretches and my fitness, because I realized, let's go a little deeper because I gotta go soon, but let's go a little deeper in doing the inner trauma work and healing, being a survivor, a person who's thriving, transcending past, they say essay. That's the safe way to say. I don't want to get demonetized, but essay. But as someone who is transcending past that traumatic experience, I realized I experienced a lot of hip pain and a lot of tightness and stiffness in my hips. So as I was doing research and really just learning different methods to heal your body from that trauma and just that stiffness, I came across an article that had in correlation to yoga and how they were using yoga to break, like to really open up points of like blockage in the body where one may have experienced trauma, and hip pain is associated with SA. So when I saw that, it had like a little light bulb moment. I was like, okay, this makes sense. The reason why I'm so tight and stiff is because I was forcing my legs closed. I wasn't trying to allow someone in. I was trying to force my legs closed. And in doing so, I closed up and I locked up and I locked and I clenched in. And I've been so stiff. Like I am not flexible at all. But I have been working every single day on my flexibility. The minute that I came to the realization that the tightness that I feel is because I locked up, I closed up. Everything is so stiff. Like even Sunshine, there was a moment where she like went to go like put her hands on my shoulder, and I kind of like flinched, and I didn't realize how the extent of how much I closed up. Like I flinch as someone trying to show me affection because I haven't experienced kindness at the hands of individuals. I haven't, it hasn't been a part of my major experience. So I'm realizing how closed off I made myself and how I clenched myself and I hold myself in. And that has translated and physically manifested into stiffness in my body. And I've been working with yoga to try to open up and really break past that trauma, as well as if you guys have been following me on Instagram. If you're not, you should follow me there. It's a whole complete different vibe, as well as my TikTok. But I did a breath work seminar, and in that breath work seminar, really all it was different breathing techniques, and you are free to look up however much information you want. I am not claiming to be a specialist, but it was simple music. Like even Bruno Mars, they played Bruno Mars. It wasn't any like specific music. It wasn't anything. And it was just someone telling you how to breathe and then saying certain things. But there was a part of the breath work technique where you have to take deep breaths like this, where it's like this. It's like really intense. And you're doing it and doing it and doing it. And then you feel like this tightness in your body. And then he says in the mic, what is holding you down? What is pinning you down? And in that moment, I felt the first time someone had pinned me down and stole my power. It was like I felt the hands there. I felt the weight on my chest. And I realized that the moment ese condenado pinned me down and took my power, I never got up off of that floor. I never got up off of that floor. My physical body got off of that floor. But that person stood there lying on the floor, and everybody who walked all over me and stepped all over me and I allowed to devalue me over and over and over again was because that girl was still on the floor. And when that clicked in that seminar and just doing all of this just inner, I'm telling you, it is not easy. When people say you got to do the shadow work, you got to do the inner healing, you got to do it. It is not easy. Go to therapy. That's the only advice I can give you. Go to therapy, because it's going to be hell and back. It's going to take you to places that I was suppressing so much, and being faced with it, I'm realizing and having my therapist tell me, you're not broken and you're not damaged, and you can heal from all this. having her tell me I can heal from all this has now fueled my life and taken it to a whole different directive. And I know that we often just highlight achievements when it comes to physical and tangible manifestations of those achievements. That's the butter. That's like the cars, the clothes, the shoes, the house, like all of that, all the visual stuff. We tend to celebrate that, and we tend to uplift that, and we tend to highlight that, and we tend to emulate that and idolize that sort of physical manifestation of victory. But I am celebrating and walking and being victorious in these new directive that my life has taken me. I have achieved so much in this time that had I stood frozen in the trauma, I would have been with a man who had me literally, before I walk out the door, look and pull a curtain, a darkening curtain. I will never forget this, a darkening curtain. And expected me in the light and told me if I was good enough to go outside. I would have stood with him because I thought that that was love. I would have stood with him. So I've achieved so much. I've achieved so much, and I have so many riches in self-worth and self-value and self-discovery and self-exploration. And I'm scared, but for the first time, I'm not living in autopilot. I am fully in control of the wheel. And I'm taking it and trusting the direction that I'm going. I really am. So I'm doing a complete change in my life, and it's really going to fall in line with just upgrading. So I'm going to join the gym today. I'm going to join the gym. And I'm going to document this journey. And I am going to tell you guys how it's going. Yeah. The next 20 days are going to be really interesting. But I've decided I'm going to accept this challenge. And like Beyonce did for Coachella. Was it Coachella? She did no sugar, no dairy, no this, no that. She cut out things in her life. She fasted. She worked out. She pushed her body to the limit to get to where she was at, Coachella ready, and she slayed. So what I've been doing has gotten me this far. But now it's time to study what others have done in the places where I want to be, in the places that I aspire, and to those who I look up to, like Rihanna, the Beyoncés, everyone, is to really discipline myself in all facets of my life and really polish this stone, this little diamond that is my body, me, and challenge myself. So she's gonna go to the gym every day for 20 days. I ordered some heels for my performance. I ordered some pleasers. If you don't know what pleasers are, those are stripper shoes, honey. And I am going to be here in my little tacones, in that mirror que compré. I bought a mirror from Ross for $20, a little investment, a little cute little full body moment. And I'm going to twirl and spin, and I'm going to own it. I'm going to be here with my little sewing machine, sewing my outfit. And I am going to be just, boom, I get out of work, I'm going to the gym. I get home from the gym, I'm at that sewing machine. I'm creating content. I'm answering freaking comments. I'm posting on Instagram. I'm taking pictures. I'm going to be boom, 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 boom. because there's no time to waste. And then I still got to do yoga at night. So there's a lot of things. And also vlog. So she got a lot going on. But I'm going to eat my chicken wrap. I'm going to reheat my fries. And I'm going to make the last of my cookies. Because I'm going to go to the gym after this. And I'm not going to be able to like really eat these things anymore. And like, I'm not going to say that I'm going to be completely perfect. But I am going to give maximum effort and maximum effect. So come the 28th, 20 days away, she is going to be ha! Oh, girl. She is going to be giving something. Something that she's never given before. So, prepárate. Because we're about to take this show on the road. And this is the first episode. Do y'all live for this little ponytail piece? It's a wig. It's a wig that I just put on my head. And people eat it up. I'm at work and they're like this, girl, your hair is really growing. And I'm like this, you're so cute and ignorant. You don't even know what I got going on here. Wow. Continue to be oblivious over there. I'm going to continue to be the queen that I am. Yeah, my hair is growing. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. I'm going to go. I love you guys. And I'll go live while I eat my sandwich on Instagram so that you guys can get a cute little moment where we could talk to each other. So I will talk to y'all soon.